Nikki Haley pokes fun at Warren's failed DNA test. You want an Indian woman. Okay, so I've actually seen this speech that she gave. It went for like 15 minutes, so we won't put the whole thing. We'll just put some highlights in for you. But yeah, at the end of the day, she kind of did a really good job. She didn't just take shots at Warren. She took shots at basically everybody, including Trump. So yeah, it was good to see it was a well-balanced attack on basically everybody. But yeah, very worthwhile going and checking it out. It is on CNN's YouTube channel, so yeah, give them the views, I suppose. But yeah, it's definitely worthwhile listening to. She does a pretty good job of roasting everybody. Let's jump into the article. Outgoing US Ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley... okay, go back. Sorry. Outgoing US Ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley poked fun at what seemed like everyone in Washington, D.C. during a speech on Thursday night. But her jab at Democrat Senator Elizabeth Warren over her DNA test brought the most laughs. Serving as the keynote speaker to the annual Alfred E. Smith Memorial Foundation dinner, Haley played with the crowd, teasing that she knows why she was actually invited to the event. Quote, I do understand why you invited me. 2 years ago, President Trump was here and he made some waves with his remarks. Apparently no one here could have predicted that. Haley told the crowd, quote, so last year you went with White House Speaker Ryan, who's a Boy Scout, and that's fine, but a little boring. So this year you wanted to spice things up again, right? I get it. You wanted an Indian woman, but Elizabeth Warren failed her DNA test. Warren faced backlash from misrepresenting her Native American heritage after a DNA test showed she's likely between 1 in 64 and 1 in 1,204. I actually think it's 1,024. I think they've stuffed up the article there. 1 in 1,024. American Indian. Conversely, Haley's parents immigrated from India and she herself was elected governor. She became the first Indian American to hold office in South Carolina. Quote, actually, when the president found out I was from India, he asked me if I was from the same tribe as Elizabeth Warren. Jaylee joked. We'll keep going with the article, then I'll put some of the little memorial sort of clips at the end, some of the best things at the end. Haley didn't stop at Warren though. Trump, independent Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, Democrat New York Mayor Bill de Blasio, I might be mispronouncing, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, Arizona Republican Jeff Flake, and former President Barack Obama and his administration were all in Haley's crosshairs. Quote, I really am super excited to be at the Al Smith dinner, Haley said. As a member of the Trump campaign, it's thrilled to be out to dinner without being harassed. And it was probably one of the best lines too. So look, yeah, we do have the highlights of some of the best ones for that. We'll put it in for you now. That said, like I say, go check out the full speech. It was pretty good actually, but we'll play some of the highlights for you now.
But I do understand why you invited me. 2 years ago, President Trump was here and he made some waves with his remarks. Apparently no one here could have predicted that. So last year you went with Paul Ryan, who's a Boy Scout, and that's fine, but a little boring. So this year you wanted to spice things up again, right? I get it. You wanted an Indian woman, but Elizabeth Warren failed her DNA test. Actually, when the president found out that I was Indian American, he asked me if I was from the same tribe as Elizabeth Warren. So I really am super excited to be at the Al Smith dinner. As a member of the Trump cabinet, it is a thrill to be out to dinner without being harassed. But look at this audience. There are so many important people here, like Mayor de Blasio. I'm so getting my car towed tonight. Mayor, remember, as a member of the UN delegation, I do have diplomatic immunity. You're all familiar with diplomatic immunity. It's an exemption from prosecution, or as Mayor de Blasio calls it, a sanctuary city. Oh, look, I got the mayor's drink by mistake. No ice. There are a number of my Washington friends I was hoping would be here, but they just couldn't make it. Cory Booker was here, but he walked out. Jeff Sessions wanted to be here, but he recused himself. Actually, I saw Jeff Sessions earlier today, not in New York. I saw him on LinkedIn looking for a job. Actually, we both were. Hillary Clinton said her invitation never arrived, and she's furious. She's blaming James Comey and the Russians and misogyny and everyone. Jeff Flake was going to be here, but he wanted to give the FBI a week to look into it. President Obama is not here tonight. I saw when recently he said that we're not supposed to use the FBI or the Justice Department to punish political enemies. Comey, McCabe, and Strzok said, "Now you tell us." Turns out what President Obama meant to say is, that's what we use the IRS for. I'm proud to be very close to the Jewish community. In fact, they gave me a nickname. Does anybody know what shiksa means? People always wonder if I felt different or isolated as an Indian American growing up in rural South Carolina. Actually, there was a benefit. It totally prepared me for being a Republican in New York. I am still someone who gets very excited about Halloween, but in this toxic environment, even this causes political arguments. Bernie Sanders wants free candy for everyone. Mitch McConnell calls it a typical Democrat giveaway program. The president says it's going to be the best Halloween ever, none like it ever before, huge. Hillary Clinton said she'll go trick-or-treating everywhere except Wisconsin and Michigan. And Michael Cohen asked how much candy he'd get in exchange for immunity. But the press does sometimes play favorites. A recent study found 91% of the president's news coverage was negative. The other 9% was really negative. The president got really mad at Bob Woodward's book. Really mad. The book compared him to a fifth grader. A lot of Democrats seized on that until they realized they got beat by a fifth grader. But I really am grateful to the president for appointing me as ambassador because I learned so much about the UN. I learned that the UN has 193 member nations, 180 which are mad at us on any given day. And the most important thing I learned is that with all of our differences, there is still one thing that unites all 193 countries. At one point, every single one of them was paying Paul Manafort. Like the president, I never hold grudges against the press, but I am still a little bit upset with the New York Times. A few weeks ago, they ran a completely misleading story saying I had purchased $52,000 curtains for the UN ambassador's residence. They had to retract it when it turned out they were actually purchased by the Obama administration. Well, they didn't really retract it. They just changed the headline to read, "Obama creates high-paying jobs in the curtain industry." I do wonder if I get to keep those curtains.
So there, at the end of the day, you get to see she's had a bit of fun. Some of the people at the dinner seemed to get a little worried when she started taking shots at the Democrats. I wonder why. But yeah, she did a pretty good job dishing it out all around. And that's what a speech is supposed to be. A lot of people will get up and they'll just take shots at the Trump campaign and not really take shots at their own. So I'm glad that she was able to do that. Look, I don't particularly like her as a US ambassador. I think she's very war hawkish. I think she's obviously in bed with the military-industrial complex. That's my opinion. But as a speech, it was a pretty good speech. So yeah, it was good to see that she had a sense of humor and she could joke about things. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. What's your thought on Nikki Haley's speech? Do you think this humanized her a little bit? Or do you still not like her? Do you like her? Did you like her as a UN ambassador to the United Nations? Do you think that we needed someone strong to be in that position? Let me know what your thoughts are about that and the speech and whatnot in the comment section below. If this video has been helpful, please smack a like. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, guys, I'll see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube. Have a great night and enjoy.